Hi, thank you, and welcome to my channel. I just wanted to put this message out there to address what really is a subliminal. It is a metaphysical tool to use to help you to program your mind for deliberate creation. So there are a lot of people out here who are creating subliminals for all types of reasons. And in that, as a person who is an initiate, as a person who knows certain metaphysical aspects of life and how to balance energies, when you are creating subliminals, you have to keep in mind that everybody who is tapping into that subliminal and listening to that affirmation that you have created, and if they're getting results, it is also a reflection of you as well. So this is it's like a product of your creation, right? So it connects you to the people who are viewing in so many ways. So this is why you would always want to make sure that you are paying it forward and giving people energies and information and assistance in life that it's going to replicate forward in them, right? In ways that's going to positively improve them because it's going to also resonate back towards you too positively. If they get positive results, you will also continue to receive positive influence and also positive inspiration, I should say, to continue to replicate that help for others. Because that's what this is all about. It's about creating as a light worker to create these tools to help people to create the life that they deserve, the life that they want, but also create their balance, create their mental health, create all these various things that people have subliminals for nowadays. But what people don't understand is when you are doing deliberate creation, there's a certain flow of energy that you're tapping into as well. And it's your kundalini energy, your life force energies, right? It's your soul frequency. When you open the gateways to your soul frequencies, there are all kinds of entities that are waiting to just permeate those soul frequencies that you have to imprint themselves on your reality, right? If I can try to make as much sense as possible to the average listener, because the average person who's listening to a subliminal came across it, they just want to get results in the law of attraction. These things, even though it has become a part of common nature as a society, that we do it in a common way, it does not take away from the sacred science that it is, right? And we have to understand the causes and effects, the ripple effects that can happen when one actually opens their minds and the gateways of their consciousness to deliberately program themselves to have a reality that they specifically desire, right? So there's a lot of things that can factor in here. So if you are opening your consciousness to deliberately program, but you also have a lot of emotional baggage, a lot of emotional imbalance, a lot of maybe wrong ways of thinking, misbehavior. If you are a person who is just a deviant, or a person who is just not well, right? But you still want to program your reality and you open your mind, you're opening yourself up to becoming unraveled in so many different ways, where you can have different elements of spirits that can operate through you, or even different parts of your consciousness can be provoked, and you can be just kind of like creating a reality for yourself that you really don't want to experience, right? Because this is really a tool for people who are able to, first off, flush their minds and energies, right? You have to you have to be really ready for what's going to come to you when you're deliberately creating. And what I mean by that is that, let's say you have a lot of wickedness in you and you're not aware of it, and then you open yourself up in ways where, okay, now you start to attract wickedness because you have opened your minds up to that, up to it, but you haven't cleansed yourself or taken accountability for whatever wickedness that is attached to you, right? And it projects in your reality in every aspect of it. And what I mean by that is, like, if you have, like, let's say, if you're not getting results, let's take a step away from the wickedness aspect of it. If you're not getting results and you have so many subconscious blocks or so many emotional blocks, things that you just can't get over, certain things can also prevent you from being able to deliberately create with accuracy every time you set your intentions to get a result. And then you use subliminals to open your mind and your consciousness up to help deliberately program your mind to think more clearly towards the result, right? So if somewhere deep inside, if you're starting to do these things, right, and you're not fully aware that it's like opening Pandora's box to a whole bunch of subconscious thoughts that you're unaware of, and you're going to start projecting that into your reality, no matter if you're trying to or not. And this is why sometimes people are getting all kinds of different results from subliminals and not getting the exact results that they want to. And if you have people who are in the subliminal community who are truly wicked in their soul frequency, and they are creating subliminals, their energies will be in the subliminals regardless of how positive those affirmations are. Because every time you create something, whatever it is that you create, a piece of your soul frequency goes into it, whether it's music, artwork, video editing, subliminals, whatever. It's coming from that inspiration that is through that soul consciousness, right? And if that soul consciousness is not in a purified state where you are thinking on high vibrational levels, you're thinking positively, truly from within, and you are really here to be a joy to the world, a gift to the world, and bring forth goodness, right? And you're not here to create chaos and unravel people or unnerve people or create harm to people, right? You should, if you are truly a light worker, then this is creating subs should be your thing. And if you're not a light worker, you should not be creating subs, because usually people who aren't and they're doing this, they have things and issues that they need to work with. And that the scale of what they need to work with in themselves it can vary from person to person. And I've come across some extreme cases that I don't even want to repeat on my channel that people have been accused of in the subliminal community. And they're big name subliminal makers. And imagine how many people who listen to these people are getting pieces of that wicked energy, or pieces of their toxic energy, or pieces of their unbalanced energy implanted within them as they are trying to use their subliminals to get their results. So it is important that if you are a person who's out here creating any kind of content, whether it is specifically for the subliminal community or just putting anything out there for the world to see, that you're doing it coming from a place of pure goodness. Because anytime somebody's going to pick that up, they're either going to replicate what goodness that you put into it, and that can really do wonders with, the domino effect that it can do. You want to really try to help create a better world and not contribute to the chaos that we already see. We're tired of that. We're trying to get to a higher level in society where we can all live in peace and harmony and actually have a place where we can actually be, right? Without it being a problem for someone else, or without it being just chaotic. A lot of people who really have souls and really are genuinely trying to assist in the ascension of this reality. We're just tired of the fact that there are a lot of people imitating that and actually being the ones who are capitulated to the forefront as the ones that we should be following, and they're continuing to replicate all these negative energies that we as light workers are here to help purify and help bring into goodness, bring into a higher vibrational frequency, bring into balance, bring into peace, bring into bliss, bring into enlightenment. Because overall, as we are all here as different aspects of different soul variations, however you want to look at it, we're here to work through our stuff, work through our good, work through our bad, and as a collective, we still have to deal with the people who are victimizing people who are innocent. And we have to make sure that these people aren't able to continue to victimize the innocents, right? But if you unknowingly step into energies that can victimize you, it's like with the subliminal community and how this pertains to that. There's a lot of people being victimized by subliminals unknowingly because they are just assuming that they're getting the help. But in the end, if a person is creating this and they're not creating it from a standpoint of being a light worker or from a standpoint of being able to balance the energy and keeping themselves balanced and also putting out energies or information to create more balance or create more peace, then it's just like it's on the other end of the spectrum. It's going to do the opposite, even though it appears to be that way. So it's a lot of people who come to me, for example, who actually need help with getting succubus and incubus energies off of them because they've listened to subliminals and somehow attracted them. And then I noticed that there are so many people in the sub community who have those sexual deviant energies, but they are creating subliminals. And people are really very unaware of the metaphysical connections and aspects of when you are creating subliminals. Like I said before in the beginning, it is, or anything you create, you are putting your soul frequency into that. And if you're not a person who's on a path to making sure that you are completely in alignment with the highest form of consciousness that you can attach yourself to, and if that's not your goal, you shouldn't be creating for others to tap into your frequency in order to get to a certain level. Because if it's like this, if a person is creating certain type of mental health subliminals and they're not mentally healthy, that mental health subliminal is not really going to bring forth your mental health balance if that person becomes unraveled sometime in the future, because their energies is still connected to that subliminal, you see. And that's what people need to realize. And as far as getting help from others, we are all connected as a collective consciousness. So it is imperative that we work with each other as a community to put out these different ideas and different affirmations to help each other grow. And that's how we stay connected, right? But we also have to make sure that we are doing it from a very, very, very pure place within our heart space and also within our mind space, because we have to be really clear with ourselves. If we aren't really there yet, we shouldn't be doing certain things. And I think that a lot of people don't really understand the metaphysical aspects of what subliminals are, and they just kind of get started with doing it because they want their law of attraction results. But there's a whole web of energy that goes into that when you are a sub person that's creating the sub and a person that's listening to it and a person that's getting the results. They're all still connected to each other in a web of energies of creation that they've all created together, right? And when you are doing, it's the same thing when you're listening to pop culture and you're listening to people on the radio, you're listening to whatever it is that you're watching on TV, and you're programmed to replicate in society that type of reality, that type of culture that you see, right, on TV. You like what you see, so you're going to wear what you see. You're going to buy what you see. You're going to see. It's a form of subliminal consciousness, that a subliminal programming that's happening here. And if it's done in a way where you're truly genuine about it, the results that you're sharing with everybody is going to help create a whole culture. This is why there is a whole community in the subliminal community, right? So I only say this just to add to the fact that there are people who are out there that may or may not be able to be trusted. However, if you happen to find out about all this drama and you are still listening to them, because a lot of people who are mentally imbalanced are creating subs, and you wouldn't even know it even if they don't say it. So the best way to prevent and to protect yourself is to consistently make sure that you are giving yourself your personal affirmations, and to also make sure that you do any type of subliminal flushes that you find that are helpful to you, subliminal flushes that work for you, just to continue to gain your own personal balance. Because about these subliminals, you want to not just balance yourself just with the subliminal. You want to use it as a tool to help you jumpstart your own momentum of balance, right? And then you go from there. And if you're not just using it for balance, you're using it for manifesting, changing your body and changing your reality. Even with that, there still has to be a type of mental balance that comes with it too, because you can still kind of like over program your mind for certain things. And so this is why you would need to do sometimes subliminal flushes or take breaks from subliminals. So just understand there's a whole metaphysical aspect behind it. And like I said before, if you are an initiate, and that's just someone who knows how to work certain levels of energy and how to program certain levels of energy and how to deliberately create at certain levels, right? When you get to a level of trying to not only create for yourself, but to create for others, you really have to have a mental health balance that is really anchored in reality, so that you don't become unbridled, you don't become unraveled, that you can actually continue to live a normal life, and social media won't affect you. Because, believe it or not, people who have anxiety because of social media and things like that is because there's a lot of energies. People, if you have a lot of people looking at your pictures, a lot of people, they're tapping into you. That's your frequency. That's your soul energy. So you have to know how to be able to, move in between the realm of being seen or being out there or sharing your energies to that extent, if you are going to be a subliminal content maker or whatever it is that you're doing, and you're doing it on a large scale where you're dealing with a lot of people. You still have to keep your mind balanced and anchored in the reality that you are creating for yourself, right? And don't really worry about all the different people who happen to be toxic, but they've gotten results. Clear your energies. If you've gotten results from people, you found out that, hey, there are some shameful people in this world, and I would not, agree to a lot of the things people are being accused of and people are being actually exposed of. And it's sad that it's just sad. But at the end of the day, as a sub maker, I feel as though I need to address this part, because I do know about the metaphysical aspects, and I also know that people need to get help from random subliminals that they've actually just got succubus and incubus attachments to. And I'm noticing a wave of that. And it's because there's a lot of people who are opening their gateways of mind consciousness, and these entities are jumping in, and they don't understand that when you're doing subliminals, when you're either creating them or you're listening to them, you're opening the gateways and the portals of your mind consciousness. And entities that want to express themselves that had no opportunities of expressing themselves before will do so, especially if you're not mentally strong and your aura is not in a space where it repels them, right? And then if you have people who are already at that level where they have entities operating through them and they're creating uh, subliminals in the community or creating content for that matter, they are going to um, pretty much replicate or pass that energy on to other people. So as light workers, we do have a job to do to kind of bring this balance. And this is why I do have all of my content is all about light work, all about how you can balance your energy, how you can find your balance in nature, how you can look at whatever it is that you need to look at within yourself to take it to the next level of your enlightenment. And that is my way of being able to help even the random person. I don't even know what you did or how bad your life is. If you can start from one place, somewhere, to work on yourself and to start working on your soul energy, at some point you're going to come out on the other side an enlightened being. If you're doing the inner work, if you're doing the shadow work, if you're doing the cleansing and the healing, right? The healing of your emotional self, right? And then you're going to project that outwardly to the public in ways that if you find some kind of way on my channel, if you can find things that help you find a certain type of inner peace, you're going to want to share that with someone in the public, someone that you're around, and it's going to continue to be a domino effect. That is my desires when I put out content. I want to see a ripple effect of goodness in the people who listen, and hopefully they continue to pay it forward. So that is all that I have for you all, and I thank you so much for tuning in. I thank you for those who choose to reach out to me, who need additional assistance beyond the subliminals, and who may or may not want to comment on certain subliminals because of whatever they may feel personal. It's personal. They don't want to share it with the world, but they share it with me on the back end when they email me and let me know. And like I said, I do see a trend here. And the trend is that there are a lot of people who are opening their mind's eye and not aware of what lurks and what can kind of jump into your consciousness and replicate itself into your reality and become a part of your reality as you're trying to deliberately create some goodness for yourself if you don't have proper energy balance. Okay? All right. Well, that's all that I have for you guys. Until next time, take care. Namaste.